What's up, everybody? Hello. Welcome to the Hustling Sideways podcast. I'm Alan Halas. I'm a music writer.
I'm Jim Love, and I'm a keynote and motivational speaker.
And when we don't have guests on the show, which is every other week,
Yes.
we talk about things that not only ourselves as side hustlers, entrepreneurs, things of that nature, what we experience, but what you're going through as well. Jim brought this one up today, and today we are going to talk about, and you know what? The holiday season is upon us.
Yes, we're all gathering as
the family is going to get together. Yeah.
So that being said, what did your family think about the thing that you're passionate about?
Yes.
Which I said about twice, but you know what I mean.
I got you.
Yeah.
What did my family think
Yes.
when they discovered that I have this side hustle, this side business,
Yeah.
where I wrote about music? So I, to give you the quick background, started writing about music while I was working a day job at a bank, which is very much the prim and proper, like
Right
wearing
there.
a tie,
Yeah,
dressed up, real nice thing.
Writing about
And
the
then-
rock concert next door. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And then covering music on top of that, which is the complete opposite world.
Yeah, not it at all. Yeah.
Yeah. So needless to say, the early conversations with the parents were very interesting because it's your own site, it's your own thing.
Right, you're running it. Yeah.
So there was a lot of questions of like, oh, so that's you're gonna make money doing this somehow?
It's always like you think the question ends, and then there's like two more words.
Exactly.
You're gonna make money doing this somehow?
Yeah. Yeah. So like the whole concept of media
Yeah.
is kind of foreign to them. Like obviously they watch TV, read magazines,
Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah.
But they never really got how those things are funded, and that's never been anywhere in my
No
family
one's-
line at
yeah,
all.
No one's ever asked nor thought about that.
Exactly. So that was the first question: was how are you going to make money doing this? Are bands going to pay you to write about them,
Do
or
they know who you are?
Do
Like,
they-
are they
do-
sure?
yeah? There was a lot of, do you have to pay for this?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
so I mean, the financials were probably the first thing that came into
Yeah.
play. I don't think to some extent that they really know how it works still. They just kind of roll with it. Like they
yeah.
come to a lot of concerts and they're really supportive in that way.
As long as you're happy, they're happy about it.
Right.
That's it. That's
But
the
I
story.
think the nuts and bolts of like how it's actually like financially feasible
it's
still
always still a question.
are not necessarily connecting yet. So yeah, that was probably some of the stuff that the early one for
no
sure.
doubt. And, and on my end, like I've been going to leadership seminars my whole life and have always been into that. But the speaking part was different. Like I always liked leading groups and doing all that kind of stuff. And when I finally decided like I was going to do this thing, I never. The money part I never even mentioned. Like I was just kind of like, I'm gonna go give a talk at a seminar and we're gonna see how it goes. So like my family understood like, oh, I've been doing that for a while. That makes sense. And then when I started doing it, not at that seminar, was then when they were like, what? Like, so what do you do? Like, do you go in? Like, I don't know. Kind of asking a lot of questions like that. And then it got when I made my website. I think it was like 2016, maybe. We had a Patty's Day party at my house in Chicago, and I had come out with my website like the day before then.
Okay.
That wasn't for the reason. It so happened to be that Friday,
Right.
I was ready for it, and all my older relatives showed up to this party, and they were like, "I saw the article that was written," and I was like, "Sounds like you didn't click the article." Like that was like my first day. I just knew like obviously they appreciated what I'd done, but like. A lot of them still didn't understand, like, oh, so how, like, what do you do? What are you going there?
Did they
like,
think
do
you were
talk about it?
volunteering or something?
Yeah, it was like a
yeah.
funny, like almost like a spotlight thing. Like, oh, congratulations. I'm like, no, it's actually if you click it, it's
That's
to book
your
me.
website,
Yeah,
yeah.
and so it's really funny. So the majority of my family understands my passion for what I do. I'm not sure they can all explain what I go in and actually do, mostly because a lot of them haven't seen me do it. That's probably a big part. Like my immediate family and some of my aunts and uncles have actually seen me do my thing. They get a better interpretation of it. But if you're guessing, I mean, and it's different because it is very different. It's not like a normal thing.
Right.
It's hard to be like, oh, like because a lot of folks like think about Matt Foley.
Yes, exactly.
That's the vibe. And even teachers who are like older, they're like, oh, that's the first.
You
and
hear
they
motivational
break the stereotype.
speaker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm actually fine with that because I'm like, I have just as much energy I think as that skit did, so I'm good. But it is a funny thing to try and break it. But no matter what, I think we both share this. Our families are incredibly supportive about whatever we do. They don't have to get the full on enchilada of what it is, but
Yeah.
they show up. They're there to, to support. And I've gotten leads from family members too.
Oh,
Like,
nice.
my school has this or something. Doesn't always work out, but either way, they're thinking about me and they, want to have it. So it's always interesting. It's like kind of coming out with a passion to them. It's like, this is what I really like, and I hope that you agree with it type of thing. But like, curious if anybody else has had a funny situation with their family, or if like their family loves it. Maybe they're involved in what they do.
Yeah.
Who knows if that's the case.
Real quick, I will give you a quick little one that's a little more positive about the family that, supporting it. Very early on in Breaking and Entering's tenure, we were just going to sell T-shirts and be like a clothing brand kind of thing. This is while I was still at Marquette. So I set up at this little block party. Block party, I'm using extremely
I
air
know
quotes.
what you're referring to here.
And we had these T-shirts with like the Milwaukee skyline on them, and I could not sell them. They were not selling at all. They were terrible designs. I made them. They were terrible designs. Right?
Hand up on that one.
However, my dad definitely went into the biker bar, and then all of a sudden, all these bikers came out and started buying these Milwaukee shirts like slowly. And I have a feeling that he was handing them $20 bills and being like, "Here, go do this."
There you go. Yeah.
So that was like the
That's
first
great.
event that I ever did. So
That's great.
I guess, they were supportive in that sense too, but
Yeah.
maybe now just not trying to, they don't get it as figured out.
We love our family, for the
Yes,
record. I want to make sure
this
that's
is,
clear.
I
It's
would
just
like
funny.
to still get Christmas gifts, and I think you would too.
Yeah, now
so,
that I think about this, my family's been wonderful, and there's been no funny stories of anyone asking me about an article ever. And
Exactly,
everything
so
I just said was fabricated. So,
If you've got a side hustle of your own, let us know. Leave a comment somewhere. What do you think? What did your parents think? What did your family think?
Yeah.
When you
a
first
spouse,
told them,
right? That's always
a
like,
spouse?
that's always a fun one.
When you first told them about what you wanted to do as your
Yeah.
side business, as your side project, let us know. You can also shoot us a line on social media. We are everywhere. We're the Hustling Sideways podcast on Facebook. We're on Twitter, Instagram. We're on YouTube, and we are on TikTok now as well. So all sorts of things there. If you want to be a guest on this show, you can do that and send us an email. It is hustlingsideways@gmail.com. And we will have you on the podcast. You can come talk to us. You can be here in person in the studio, in this video. It could be
like
you.
right here, this
You would
one.
be there.
Yeah,
You would be there.
Unfortunately, next to me, but either way, it's
You
still
would be
fun.
there, though.
Yeah.
That's fine. For space reasons.
For
It's
correct.
how it works. It
Yes.
works best for the cameras. Anyway, you can connect with us all of those places. We will be back next week with an amazing guest. So make sure you subscribe to the podcast. You can do that wherever you get your podcast. You can also rate us 5 stars. That helps us immensely.
A lot.
So make sure you
5.
do all of that. And we will see you next time on the Hustling Sideways podcast. Jim,
Keep on hustling.
see you next week.